So I'd like to welcome everybody to the webinar and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm going to share with you two distinct mobile apps and technology platforms that York Region Transit are currently using and are being managed by the Mobility Plus staff. One app is for the Mobility Plus Specialized Passenger, and the other is for the YRT Conventional On-Demand Passenger. The Specialized Transit app is now available to download. Marketing material has been prepared and is currently being mailed out to each and every Specialized Transit passenger. The second app is for the Conventional On-Demand Passenger and is currently in pre-production. Currently, all on-demand passengers must call into a number dedicated to on-demand requests only. Our vision is to have one app, an app that will allow both specialized and on-demand passengers to log in and then be directed to the correct platform for their needs. I'll begin with Ride on Demand, the app for our specialized passengers. The bookings from this app flow through our specialized transit software and will continue to do so. There are new technological advancements available in this app, and riders need to register to access it. Some passengers may be reluctant at first, and we understand that, so we are creating a series of YouTube step-by-step videos to help with the apprehension. Mobility Plus attends over 200 information sessions a year, and we're going to be there to help our passengers who are interested in learning more. The dangling carrot for the passengers is that they use the app. When they use it, they're guaranteed a same-day trip with no waiting in the call center queue. Passengers can book, cancel, confirm, or access contact and account information. The app also stores upcoming, past, and canceled bookings. All required information for a trip booking must be selected by the passenger. They have the option to select a timing preference to be picked up at a certain time or to arrive by a certain time. If the passenger has a mandatory support person, it will automatically be pre-populated on the booking screen. Passengers choose from a number of approved addresses for bookings. Originally, this allowed us to ensure that no one could book a direct trip which should be utilizing a fixed route. With the new trip planner technology, this is no longer an issue, as the itinerary will be automatically determined. The software chooses the trip itinerary based on the passenger's profile. Do they have a mobility aid? Do they travel with a mandatory support person? Is the trip utilizing a new family of services hub where they haven't been travel trained? Once the trip itinerary is presented to the passenger can go back to make changes to it or confirm it. Once confirmed, the trip is submitted for scheduling. On the screen is an example of a family of services itinerary. For those of you not familiar with the term family of services, it means that a conventional fixed route or routes will be utilized to provide all or a portion of the trip. Our passengers who take family of services have been travel trained one-on-one on the route they will be utilizing. If they cannot do it, then they travel on specialized services only. The trip on the screen shows a specialized transit pickup dropping to a conventional fixed route, a transfer between fixed routes, and a drop-off at home with another specialized transit vehicle. The new trip planner includes configurations that ensure the passenger is dropped off 10 minutes before the next scheduled bus arrives. The family of services trip itself cannot take any longer than the timing parameters of a specialized transit trip, and in many cases, because of the linking of rides and the vast area of the region, conventional transit can be quicker. So what makes the Ride on Demand app for specialized passengers so special? Well, passengers can request same-day trips and see what the trip status changes from requested to scheduled. The mobile app knows the passenger's mobility ability and offers the best trip itinerary for them. The trip planner recognizes fixed-to-fixed connections as well as allowing ample transfer time for passengers. And passengers can view their upcoming past and canceled trips and see the detailed itinerary and locations on a map for their next trip. Passengers will receive an estimated time of arrival when the driver is running late. Now we'll go on to the on-demand app, which is for all passengers. We say all passengers as specialized transit passengers are welcome to use this app as well. So all of us have the same concerns: low ridership on fixed routes at off-peak times, or no service in remote areas at all. We want to be able to get the passengers in these areas at these times a ride to a fixed route. About 3 years ago, passengers who needed an on-demand trip started calling into a dedicated number in the specialized transit call center. A vehicle would then be dispatched to the passenger. The number of passengers and the number of areas where this service is provided has grown, and the development of the app was really necessary. Although we are utilizing two separate platforms, our goal is to have one forward-facing app that will determine if the passenger is a specialized passenger or an on-demand passenger simply by their login. All passengers will have the option of booking a trip using a mobile app, an online booking tool, or make a call into a reservationist in the call center. Again, passengers will be required to register, which will allow them to log in using an email and a password for their next visit. Similar to other technologies, the riders will always have the option to reset their password should they forget it. Planning a trip will be quick and easy. The passenger can use their current location for the starting address or enter a different starting address and destination location. A list of addresses will pre-populate as the rider keys in the address, and the passenger just selects the one they require. Passengers will have the opportunity to add companions or indicate if they will be traveling with a mobility aid. Vehicles will be set up in the back end with the capacity configurations to ensure all trips will automatically schedule to the correct vehicle type. The concept of on-demand services is key to building out a new technology which allows the flexibility of offering the right service for the passenger and for the transit agency in low-demand areas. The on-demand strategy is to provide transit service where it doesn't exist or where it's been removed due to low ridership. The ultimate goal is to provide service to all our YRT passengers and to utilize fixed routes where and when available. Having the ability to create a zone, attach specific configurations specifically for that service, or having multiple different services within that one zone allows us to measure efficiency and rider adoption to that service. The first service configuration on this slide shows a service that could work as a commuter train shuttle or a feeder service to one central location or a popular location. The second service configuration shows the possibility of expanding the first service model to include not just one location, but an entire area. The first mile, last mile option, which is illustrated on this slide, will allow the passenger to access a running fixed route. This will be the most commonly used configuration for our on-demand services in urban areas. Whether the rider walks to a stop, is picked up at the curb by a mobility on-demand vehicle, or transfers more than once, it's a service configuration unique to that service and to any service created and determined by the agency. When a passenger enters their origin and destination addresses, the back-end system will check all services available and confirm the validity of the trip. When the trip is validated, it will appear on the map. If it is a first mile, last mile configuration, the app will quickly go out to a trip planner containing all YRT schedules and determine the best travel options allow the passenger to connect with existing YRT conventional fixed routes. The trip details are broken down into segments, and all combined segments then equal what we refer to as the passenger's journey. Segments can include walking, a mobility on-demand vehicle, or fixed route travel. All itinerary details are displayed for the passenger, and the passenger can click on each individual segment for additional details. Once reviewed, the passenger can then accept the itinerary and book the trip. Once booked, the passenger can follow the status update showing the trip being assigned to a driver and then the driver's progress throughout the trip. As well, the passenger always has the option to cancel the trip at any time. Once a trip is requested, it is automatically scheduled and dispatched to an available vehicle, and the trip will be visible on the driver's tablet. YRT will be able to monitor the trips and vehicles through an agency portal. This will allow YRT to have full visibility for all on-demand trips and vehicles as we currently do for our specialized transit trips. Another concept that will be introduced is a relationship between a passenger and a hub. Although we're capable of removing certain hubs from being utilized by the trip planner, this concept will allow the exclusion or inclusion of certain hubs specifically for some passengers. For example, a connection can be created for a passenger who can only wait at a stop at a bench. For this passenger, any stop when trip planning that doesn't have a bench will not be included in their itinerary. This flexibility gives us the opportunity to leave no passenger behind. On-demand drivers log into a separate application that the drivers from our specialized transit services. So currently these fleets are separate. By April of next year, we should have a new service concept which will give the on-demand system the ability to call out to the specialized transit fleet to accept a ride. This will be the first small step in integrating the vehicle fleet for both services. The technology we are assisting with developing opens the possibility to not only provide multiple different services, all within their own unique configurations, but the ability for them to coexist within one area. Measuring rider adoption, technology that can predict demand, third-party integration as a fleet or an overflow, these are all things that make this new innovative technology so exciting.